Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. In this lesson, we will learn about al-huruf al-qamariyah, lunar letters, and al-huruf al-shamsiyah, solar letters. And why do we say that? As we can see over here, Sheen is an example of the solar letter. So how do we pronounce it? We say ash-shamsu, ash-shamsu. And the reason is, as I told you earlier, that whenever we have after lam, when we have tashdid, then the lam is not pronounced. It becomes sakin. However, and this is what we can see, after lam, if there is no tashdid, then the lam has to be pronounced. So how do we pronounce it? Al-qamaru, al-qamaru. Okay, there is a question about ihdina. That is a verb. So we need to be really careful. We are a beginner. So as a beginner, we need to focus only on what we are learning now. And I told you that we are, in this lesson, we are learning about al, okay? And I told you that whenever you read al, you have to read it with fatha. With al, you have to read it with fatha. And inshallah, when you proceed further, of course, when you learn verbs, then you will come to know that sometimes it has dhamma, sometimes it has fatha, and sometimes it has kasra. But what is restricted to al, it is always pronounced with fatha. As of now, your takeaway is only this. The rest, please don't worry about that. Your takeaway should be that whenever we have al, we have to pronounce it with fatha. We cannot say ul and we cannot say il. We have to say al. That's the only thing that you need to take away today. So as we can see here, the lam is not pronounced, and the correct pronunciation will be ash-shamsu, and here the lam is pronounced, and the correct pronunciation will be al-qamaru. And then we can see that after lam, the word is indicated by shadda, but here there is no shadda at all. And then this is about the pronunciation, and inshallah, when you learn like the pronunciation of the letters, these are normally, we pronounce them with the tip of the tongue, like ta, sa, sha, na, and ra. And these are the letters that normally, so we don't really need to bother about the pronunciation as of now. The thing that we need to focus on is how to pronounce lam or how to pronounce al. So do we pronounce lam or not? If we have tashdid, after that, we don't pronounce it. If we have no tashdid after that, then we pronounce it. And this is from the lesson, by the way. So let's go through this. Here we have al-ab. So how do we pronounce it? Al-ab, right? So lam will be pronounced. Why lam will be pronounced? Because after lam, there is no tashdid. We don't see tashdid over here. Al-ab means the father. Then we have al-babu. Al-babu, the door. It has to be pronounced. Al-jannatu, it has to be pronounced. The garden. Al-himaru, the donkey. Al-khubzu, the bread. It has to be pronounced. Al-ainu, the eye. It has to be pronounced. Al-ghada'u, lunch. The lunch, it has to be pronounced. Al-famu, the mouth. It has to be pronounced. Al-qamaru, the moon. It has to be pronounced. Al-kalbu, the dog. Al-ma'u, the water. Al-waladu, the boy. Al-hawa'u, we have here the air. And al-yadu, the hand. So how many of them we have over here? We have 14 over here, and we have 14 over here. 14 sun letters and 14 moon letters. And we know that in Arabic, we have 28 letters because Hamza, according to some ulama, say that it is not a letter because it cannot, sometimes it comes by itself and sometimes it cannot come by itself. So that's why the real letters are 28 in Arabic. So 14 are al-huruf al-qamariyah. And what are those? Alif, ba, jim, ha, kha, ain, ghain, fa, qaf, kaf, mim, waw, ha, and ya. And then we have 14 al-huruf al-shamsiyah, the sun letters. So what are those? Ta, tha, dal, dhal, ra, za, sin, shin, sad, dad, dad, okay? Ta, dha, lam, and noon. At-tajiru. Do I have to pronounce lam over here? Can I say al-tajiru? Can I say that? Al-tajiru. Of course not. Why? Because after lam, we have tashdid. Excellent. So we will say at-tajiru, at-thawbu, ad-diku, athawb, cloth, ad-diku, rooster, al-dhahabu, the gold, ar-rajulu, the man, az-zahratu, the flower, as-samaku, the fish, ash-shamsu, over here, as-sadru, the chest, ad-daifu, the guest, at-talibu, the student, al-dhaharu, the back, al-lahmu, the meat, an-najmu, the star. So inshallah, I'm sure now, and why do we need to learn it? Of course, this is only for the recitation of the Quran, for the tajweed. If we do not read it properly with the tajweed, the Quran, then we don't really get hasanat. Like we do get, but it's like we make mistakes. And really, we don't want to make mistakes when we are reciting the Quran, right? So this is only and specifically for the Quran. For the everyday Arabic or the modern standard Arabic, it's okay. It doesn't make any difference if you say at-tajiru or al-tajiru. This is just example. Nobody will say, hey, you don't know how to say at-tajiru. Why are you saying al-tajiru? Or maybe what I have noticed, sometimes when you try to follow these rules, the Arabs look at you like, what? Really? Yeah, so I'm telling you the truth. So that's why the focus is only, our focus of learning this, the sun letters and the moon letters, is the Quran. And this is what is from the Sheikh. The Sheikh has decided to bring this in the lesson. And all this work is done by Sheikh and his team. It's available on internet. It's also available on my Google Drive. You can download it. Now we have the exercises over here. In fact, exercise tamreenun, that means exercise. Iqra al-kalimati. Iqra il-kalimati al-atiyata. Okay, so the only thing I will tell you, I don't want to confuse you, that both of them are mansoob. This is mansoob and this is also mansoob. But here it has fatha and here it has kasra. Iqra al-kalimati waktubha, and write them. Now you see, how did I read it? Waktubha. And the reason is because this hamza is hamzatul wasl. Mura'iyan, keeping in mind, qawa'ida, the rules, nutqil hurufil qamariyati, the pronunciation of the words, the sun, the moon, the sun letters, washamsiyati, and the moon letters. So the endings, you don't really need to get disturbed or like irritated. Like, I don't really know the case endings, what's happening over here. As of now, you don't really need to bother a lot about it. That is our target, and that's what we are trying to learn for, right? So as of now, if you understand like why it is, alhamdulillah. If not, inshallah, with the passage of time, you will be able to learn all these things. So how do I pronounce this? Al-baytu or ab-baytu? How should I pronounce it? Any idea? Al-baytu, excellent. Okay, what about dik? Al-diku or ad-diku? Ad-diku, excellent. Then we have the teacher. Al-mudarrisu or am-mudarrisu? Al-mudarrisu, excellent. Al-babu or ababu? Ababu doesn't even make sense, right? It's difficult to pronounce it even. So, al-babu, yes. Al-talibu or at-talibu? At-talibu, excellent. And now it's because you know these letters, that these letters, we don't have tashdid over here. Now, mashallah, you see how you see the improvement over here? Subhanallah. We don't have tashdid over here, but you know that we have to pronounce it at-talibu. And that is what I told you, that you don't need to worry about these harakat, these vowel signs. Inshallah, with the passage of time, slowly but surely, you will be able to place them by yourselves. Then we have sugar. As-sukaru or al-sukaru? As-sukaru, excellent. Daftaru, al-daftaru or ad-daftaru? Ad-daftaru. And the reason is because dal is the sun letter, sin is the sun letter, ta is the sun letter, but ba is the moon letter. So we have to focus on the letter that comes after lam. We have to focus the letter that comes after lam. And in the Quran, it's very easy, by the way. In the Quran, for our convenience, alhamdulillah, after lam, if meme is needed, you will find it. If meme is needed, you will find it in the Quran. But min ghayr al-Quran, we don't find it. So in the Quran, it will be with the tashdid, but in other than the Quran, not. So that's what we are trying to learn. Alakh. So I don't really, I've got so used to it. It's difficult to pronounce it like alakhu. Ar-Rasul. So again, we can see this is Ar-Rasul because of Ra. Al-Wajhu. We can't say, it's difficult to even pronounce. As-Sadiq. So the friend. As-Sadiq. Friend. As-Sadiq. Saad. We need to be careful, okay? Al-Qur'anu. Al-Qur'anu. As-Salatu. Very good. Al-Ka'batu. Yes, friend is Sadiq. And there are many categories of friendship. We have Rafiq, and we have Khalil, and we have Sadiq. There are many categories of, there are many words that are used in Arabic language. As of now, we should know that Sadiq is used for a common friend. Rafiq is used for a close friend. And Khalil, the closest. Khalilullah. You know who Khalilullah is, right? Ibrahim alayhi salam. Okay. Then we have Ar-Ra'su. Ar-Ra'su. So it has to be pronounced with al, without al. Al-Isbi'u, the finger. Al-Isbi'u. Al-Isba'u, the finger. As-Sabun, the soap. Al-Dhufru, the nail. Al-Fajru, the Fajr prayer time. Al-Dhuhru. Al-Asru. Al-Maghribu. And Al-Isha'u. So these are the names of the prayers, okay? Now, what about Hamza of, when we say Al-Asr, okay? But in the Quran, how do we recite it? We recite it Wal-Asr, right? Wal-Asr. And what happens? They become omitted. We don't pronounce them. Excellent. Yeah, because we are connecting over here, so it becomes Wal-Asr. Excellent. Okay. Now, the first introduction to the lam. So this is the first lam. As I told you, there are many lamat, as we say, lam, and the plural of Arabic lam is lamat in Arabic. So there are many lamat in Arabic language. And the first one that we have learned so far is called lamut tarif. What do we call it? Lamut tarifi, lam of definiteness. And it does not come alone. Why do we have the combination of Lam Tarif and Hamzatul Wasl? That is the most important thing that we need to know. This lam is sakin. This lam is what? It is sakin. And in Arabic, no word can start with a sakin letter. You cannot pronounce it. So just to pronounce it, what we need to do, we need to put Hamzatul Wasl before it. So these are two different things. Please remember, we say al all the time, but as I told you, inshallah, I will tell you about every brief detail so that inshallah, when you learn Arabic, you know what it means learning Arabic language. Okay. So lam is lamut tarif and hamza is hamzatul wasl. Okay. So the lam, as we can see here in al, so the combination is called al. The lam in al construction is called, so this is a complete construction, basically al construction. Lam tarifi, that means lam of definiteness. And why do we say that this is lam of definiteness? Because it changes an indefinite noun into a definite noun. For example, it changes waladun, a boy, into al waladu, the boy. Rajulun, a man, a rajulu, the man. And this is hamza over here. The hamza in al construction is called hamzatul wasl. What do we call that? Hamzatul Wasl. And what does it mean? Connecting Hamza. What does it connect? It basically connects al, with the other word, or it helps us to connect something else. For example, if we have anything before it, for example, we have waw before it. So what does it do? It connects waw with lam, and in itself it disappears. So as I told you, Hamza is very delicate, and also it's very naughty. So it comes, it disappears. It is pronounced, it is not pronounced. Okay. So when we say wal, it is not pronounced. But when we start with al, then we have to, yes, tarif, yeah. Tarif means definiteness, yes. Okay. Note, now this is the note that I explained earlier in the beginning of the lesson, that the Hamza in al construction is always read with fatha. How do we read it? With fatha. When? always. So whenever you start a word with Hamzatul Wasl, then you have to read it with Fatha. You cannot read it with Dhamma or Kasra. I'm not talking about anything else. Please forget about everything else that you see in Arabic language or in the Quran as of now. As of now, the only construction that we need to focus on is today the al construction. That's the most important thing that we need to focus on today. And then the end of the lesson, the same vocab that we have discussed several times. So I would like you to please memorize the vocab as much as you can, because the vocab is the building block of the language. We need it all the time. Faqirun, poor, and ghaniyun, rich. And what does X mean? It means the opposites. So we have opposites over here. Ghaniyun, rich, and the opposite of ghaniyun is antonyms. Faqirun. Tawilun, it can be tall or long. In the lesson we have learned tall. Qasirun means short. And then we have baridun, cold. Harun, hot. Jalisun, sitting. Waqifun, standing. Jadidun, new. Qadimun, old. And as you know that ghaniyun and faqirun, most of them, they are like adjectives. So that's why there is no, in fact, all of them are adjectives. So therefore, there is no need to put a or an before them. We have qaribun, near, ba'idun, far away, nadifun, clean, and wasikhun, dirty. And then in the end, inshallah, we have saghirun, small, kabirun, big, khafifun, light, thaqilun, heavy, al-waraqu. And the reason I'm going through by faster, because you know this already. Paper, al-ma'u, water, at-tufahu, apple, jamilun, beautiful, ad-dukkanu, shop, حلو, sweet, and مريض, sick. انتهى الدرس, end of the lesson. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت وأستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.